Now going on to the business blunder of the day. You have GM again. You have the Chevy Bolt having another recall. A car known for bursting into flames. GM quality, some might say. And another issue of trying to pivot towards EVs, which GM makes a great V8 engine, which is why they reinvested $938 million into research and development, into the next V8 iteration that they're developing. They make a great V8. I would say the pinnacle of GM was perhaps 2004 Corvette Z06, which only came with a stick shift, as every sports car should have. But when it comes to EV, they're behind the learning curve. So mistakes are going to happen as you transition the business, as Mary Barra wants, and the government wants. Remember, Mary Barra, the CEO of General Motors, she wants to be full EV by 2035. That's right around the corner in business news. TikTok. Cadillac is going to be, to her goal, 100% EV by 2030. Or sorry, yeah, 2030. That's even closer. Because again, a lot of these things takes a lot of time, a lot of research and development, and you're going to have to retool a bunch of things. Now, this vehicle was previously recalled because it burst into flames. I remember I actually went to an IT conference where there was a sign that says you're not allowed to park your car in this garage if you had a Chevy Bolt, which is perhaps the best marketing A+, because a bolt is a bolt of lightning and it'll burst things into flames. So it is highly representative of the product itself, albeit hilarious and, you know, that's just silly. But it looks like this is now a voluntary recall for the charging cords because they might spark you. So it looks like it's a voluntary recall. So the good news is, and the silver lining of the situation is, it's not deadly. No one's died from this. There's no reports of anyone having major injuries. And they're noting that they have 10,000 cords, charging cords, that can give users a shock. Now, apparently these are the Webasto charging cables, and they're the ones used for certain 2022 and 2023 Chevy Bolts. Now, according to General Motors, again, there hasn't been any serious incidents or accidents, and their testing determined that the shock would, quote, only last 1/40th of a second, unquote. And it's just one of the things where it's long enough to scare you, but now the caveat might be, what if you have a pacemaker? Obviously, there's always caveats and nuances to every situation, or many situations, I should say. So it's not great, but they also noted that the Webasto charging system just isn't communicating, and the issue doesn't solely rely on the software of the cord itself. Instead, General Motors believes that the interaction between the software and the cord is causing an issue somewhere down the line. The result of which is, instead of bringing a charge stop to the charging when unplugging your charger, the electricity just continues to run and it will discharge. So if you unplug the charger, you got that in your hand, it's primed to shock you. And this is one of those issues where I spoke about when we were covering the negotiations that the big three, Ford, General Motors, and Chrysler are going on with the United Auto Workers. They're slowly turning into technology companies. This is a pretty good case in point. Software is becoming paramount to these companies. And that is a whole different can of worms. Or in this case, we would say perhaps can of Wolverines. What else is it? What's the symbol of Michigan? Yeah, Wolverines. I don't know how they fit in a can, but a drum perhaps is more appropriate. Nevertheless, it's a whole different game, and they're going to have either new people with different skill sets, or they can retrain people for those positions. And it's not good for the Chevy Bolt specifically because, again, this is something that it already is the butt end of many jokes because it could literally burst into flames a couple years back. And this is something where, interestingly enough, they said they're going to kill the product, or rather they're going to stop the production of that specific nameplate and the whole brand. And then they decide they're going to bring it back and subsequently continue to make it, apparently. So a little wishy-washy on the future of the Chevy Bolt. They are getting a moderately good volume of units sold. But again, GM is really proud of the fact that they're going EV. That you look at the commercials, where the marketing is, where the messaging is, it's all the CEO talks about. And to have, as some might say, a little egg on your face for the thing you want to be known for, that's got to be the business blunder of the day. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in. Again, I know it's ambitious, but we're trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of September. So if you click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, I really appreciate the feedback as we try to make the show better and better. Slowly but surely, perhaps, getting better at my enunciation and slowing down my speech patterns, as many of you in the comments noted that was something you did not appreciate and you wanted me to work on. So that's something where we're working together to make this show better and better. Also, don't forget to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe Fight the good fight.